So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? So one of my favorite areas in France is the Loire Valley, and for a number of reasons. But one of the most important reasons is I think it's the most undervalued, under the radar areas in all of France. And you know, it doesn't get a shake from a lot of the consumers. So I'm here to spend some time, at least devoting some effort to Loire. It's also something that it's a new project that I'm getting involved with. So this is one producer that I really wanted to talk about. And we're going to talk again about Vouvray. So we wanted to zero in on this producer right here, which is a fabulous family. This is the Boutet Saulnier, Vouvray. And I had a chance to meet them, Christophe, in Paris at the Vinexpo fair one year, and I was looking for Loire Valley wines, and I'm very passionate about Vouvray. So when I had the chance to meet this producer and taste through his wines, I thought, wow, this is really great. But if you're not familiar with this area, I'm going to point it out right here. So you have Touraine, this area right here, and Vouvray is just right across over here. You know, and this is Chenin Blanc territory. So when I say that, I think that this is the finest expression of the grape that exists in the world. And I know there's a lot of producers that are making South African and making California, and you know, and hats off to them. And they even tell you we make a Loire style wine. So what they're trying to do is actually make the closest thing to Vouvray that they possibly can. And there's a reason why Vouvray is so special. But one of the reasons is the soil. It's a very chalky soil that just kind of exists there. They call it a tuffeau, which is a specific type of chalk. But this producer we wanted to highlight today because this is a single vineyard that they actually produce, and it's called Les Brousses, and this is a 2022. And you know, this is what we call a ledite. Now, if you do not know what the terminology of ledite is, we're going to explain that right now, because that's called a single vineyard. It identifies a vineyard or an area, and it says it's completely different than the neighbor next door. So what we're talking about is traditionally Vouvray is made in different styles. And, you know, they have just regular Vouvray, which can come from anywhere in Vouvray. Then they have what's called the classique style, which is like sec or demi-sec, which is the level of sweetness. This is the sec, but it's on the verge of being a demi-sec, so it's quite interesting to taste this wine. But this is considered one of the finest of the single vineyards. So when you see identification on the label, you can actually see that they highlight this vineyard here, Les Brousses, and then you can see the producer's name here. But you know, when they tell you Vouvray, you really have to look for what is called the ledite. And we broke out our book today, which is a very special book I've had for, oh God, well over 30 years. It identifies a lot of the producers in Champagne, Alsace, and Loire Valley. But when you highlight this, they show you Vouvray. And we're talking, this book was written 30 years ago. So you're not really going to find a lot of the newer producers like Christophe's property in here. But basically what they do identify is this beautiful soil composition there that is quite special. So, you know, I just really wanted to spend some time, you know, discussing this because I'm very excited about this producer. Tuffeau is a soft, porous limestone formed during the Cretaceous period, roughly 90 million years ago. And it's chalkier and firmer than a lot of the limestone soils that exist in Chinon. So if you go to Chinon and you see those soils, which are perfect for Cabernet Franc, this specific soil, this specific tuffeau, as they call it, is perfect for Chenin Blanc. And it creates what I consider to be, you know, top level wine. But of course, you know, Chenin Blanc doesn't get a fair shake. A lot of people might think it's kind of sweet, and it's not. It's got nothing to do with sweetness of Riesling or any of these other grapes. And this particular wine is quite dry. So when you try a wine from a top level, and I'm talking top level producer here with Christophe's property, you know, you get that orchard fruit right off the bat, but you get all that mineral kind of brightness and acidity. It just leaps out of the glass, and it's beautiful. But then you get this kind of, you dive right in, and you can actually get a sense of the soil composition right off the bat with the nose. It's mineral, it's penetrating. Wow, this is world-class wine. This is up there with a lot of the greatest wines in France. Again, it flies under the radar. A lot of the American public does not know. Even the wine shops, most wine shops, you don't find a big selection of Vouvray. You'll find a few, but you know, I'm here to tell you this is one of the greatest expressions. And again, we're all the way up here in the Touraine region, right here, Touraine, and you got Vouvray right here. So this is an area that I'm going to be spending a little more time because we're actually going to be traveling through the Loire Valley in this coming first of the year. So I'll be doing a lot of interviews with producers in the Loire Valley, and we aim to go here and really discuss Vouvray, talk to producer Christophe here, who was very gracious to send us samples. We want to give a shout out to the family there. It's a husband and wife team, very true to guard. They're really trying to raise the banner of Vouvray. I'm here to tell you, I'm with them, and I think that Vouvray is one of the best wines in all of France, and it needs more exposure. I knew these wines 30 years ago. A lot of Americans haven't discovered it yet, but this is why I wanted to share it. Again, this is the Grape Explorer talking about what is called classic Vouvray. Cheers.